Well, what's going on, you beautiful people? So, we keeping the guests coming back. I told y'all I was going to work on it this year. And this guest was actually recommended by a former guest, Wes Davis, also known as Endless Media. Today, I got arguably one of the best videographers I know, arguably best. Well, how do you like to be addressed?
I don't know anymore. Sometimes I consider myself like a content creator, but at the same time, when I'm on set, I'm either a camera operator, gaffer, or cinematographer.
So we're gonna go with cinematographer.
That sounds fancier.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
So one of the best cinematographers that I know personally, we have Robert Golo.
Thank you.
Great to have you, my guy.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, is this your first podcast?
This is legitimately my first podcast that I've actually been a guest on.
Ooh.
That I'm not working behind the scenes. So this is a first for me, for sure.
All right. Well, don't get too nervous.
Oh, no. For me, this is like a conversation with a camera.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too because I tell people all the time when they're asking me, like, just for advice about doing anything like this, I tell them, well, there's two things to think about it as. Are you comfortable talking in front of people on a stage? If so, you're probably going to be nervous to be on camera.
Yeah.
And they think it's funny when I tell them that, but I tell them you're only going to be nervous on camera because you're always thinking about messing up.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is you can just edit that out. So that's why I always think it's funny. But hey, man, I'm glad to be your first ever podcast you're a guest on.
Honestly, I really appreciate you having me on because I've been wanting to do this style of content for quite a while. It's not really my strong suit or something that I really gravitate towards. So
I feel that.
If anything, being a guest takes that pressure off. And for the most part, I mean, you know me, I like talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, funny enough, I was thinking about how we actually first met, and it was you actually had the shirt on. It was actually at Kyusha Club back when it was over off 7th Street and Bethany Home.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, and I could not remember for the life of me, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It was funny, too, because I'm like, chances are we have probably encountered each other long before then. But you know how it goes out here. For one, Arizona is a relatively small place. Everybody knows everybody or is connected with everybody somehow, some way. But on top of that, too, since we're both in the car scene out here, we've probably encountered each other before and just did not think about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm pretty sure I might have saw you at like Fancy Shop, which is one of I think Kenny Gwynn's. Huge shout out to Kenny Gwynn. He's a great guy. Like,
I
Fancy Shop, great meet, and more than likely we've crossed paths over there.
Yeah,
because what I figured out about Arizona car scene and just friendships in general, I would say 2 or 3 people removed from knowing someone else.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably right. Fancy Shop meets, I used to pretty much attend all of them, so.
Yeah, because it couldn't be PAVs, because you don't go to PAVs at all. You live on the other side of the earth.
Look, man.
As far as Arizona goes.
I'm just going to keep it a bug. PAVs just never interested me in the slightest.
That's fair.
But, that's just me, shout out to PAVs, anybody that likes it. I'm not hating.
I'm not either, but I do have some gripes. But
I think everybody does. Yeah, I think
another day.
You know what? We might have to talk about that later on.
Later on.
Yeah,
later on, for sure.
But regardless, though, so here's how I kind of want to start this. I want to know your background a little bit more because we've talked a little bit here and there about it. Like for starters, I didn't actually know that you immigrated to the United States.
Yeah.
And you're from again?
So my parents are Liberian.
Okay.
But they fled civil war in Liberia to Ghana. And then I was born in Ghana on the refugee camp. And then we immigrated here. So you can imagine the culture shock, the culture shift. Because when we got here in 2005, we were dressed for winter. And this is not just like regular winter. This is like we're dressed for Alaskan winter. Full puffer jackets, scarves, the whole nine. We get here in the middle of summer and it's it's 2005. So
that
it's
is funny.
So hot. It's right around like 117 degrees outside. Landed at Sky Harbor. And we just looked so out of place, but got acclimated over 2 to 3 years. And then, we're here now. I remember the older times when I was in middle school, it was very hard communicating. And what I get from people now is that, you don't have an accent or anything like that, which is kind of wild because I still think I do. But at the same time,
it's kind of like your inner voice, you hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I noticed like when I first met you, it was kind of hard to distinguish like, is he from somewhere?
Yeah.
Like because like how you were saying, like people were like, oh, you don't have an accent. Like, yeah, you really don't. When I actually sit there and listen, like it's so hard for me to gauge like.
Yeah, if you close your eyes, you're seeing somebody else.
Yeah.
You're definitely not seeing me whatsoever.
Oh man, yeah, but that's crazy though, man. And I mean, I could only imagine like how it was growing up too, because it's like
tough, dude.
Yeah.
You imagine, okay, everyone can relate to this for sure. Teenage years, I get in middle school.
Yep.
You know, all the hormones are raging. You're going through puberty, and it's like, all right, I want to talk to girls, but it's like literally no one understands what I'm saying. So what I did over the course of, I think it was 3 months, was just constantly watch Steve Seagal movies. And that's how I got rid of my accent. I know, it's so weird. Of all of the things,
oh my God,
of all of the platforms to learn how to speak and enunciate in a Western accent, so to speak, like a Midwestern American accent.
Well, that's funny too, because like, I forget the actor's name, but have you watched The Bear?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so remember when the pastry chef, the black dude, he goes to train in the Netherlands and he's training with that blonde hair kid?
Yeah.
So they were interviewing him and they were asking him like, how is it being British and getting American roles? And he said, well, we kind of have an advantage because think about it, we grow up watching all the Hollywood movies and the shows. So we're already training to essentially talk like you guys over here. So it actually isn't that crazy to hear that. Now, Steven Seagal movies, okay, that's where it's funny. But no, I feel it though. I feel it because I think even like I tell people all the time, when I went to Japan this past January, like the only thing that helps me get by over there is because I watch so much anime that there's certain words that I just remember.
Yeah, just
like exactly what they're saying. And I tell people like now it's to the point when I'm watching subbed, I can actually look down at my phone and I kind of understand what the conversation, like what's going on. Now, I don't recommend to do that because it gets kind of hard after a while, but you hear certain words and it's like, okay, I can gauge what's going on. So I get it. But so, and correct me if I'm wrong, you went to Sunny Slope High School?
Yeah, Sunny Slope High School, go Vikings. Very, very, I mean, wait, which high school did you go to?
I went to Alfreda.
Oh, come on, yo. Like, we're not even like enemies at that point.
Hey.
There's no rivalry, there's no beef. You know?
Hey, look, I know, but I gotta rev hard for my school.
That's fair. That's fair. It was one of those high schools that was so like culturally diverse and also economically, like fiscally diverse as well. Because if anyone knows
where it's located,
the location where Dunlap separates, I would say, quote unquote, the wealthier neighborhoods from the less wealthier neighborhoods. Yeah. So you get doctors, lawyers, like real estate moguls, children going to the same high school as like people who are lower to upper middle class. Yeah. So that entire like melting pot just made for in my humble opinion, one of the best high school experiences that I think is in the Valley, like in general.
No, I could definitely understand that. And it's like, you know, I would tell people too, like, even Olive Free, like, Olive Free always got a bad perception just because of where it was located. Yeah, and I would have to explain to people, like, no, that area is just really old. Like, when you really think about it, because it's like, I think that's like the oldest high school in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah, like I was talking with one of my young homies, and because the little homie, Endless Media, he actually graduated from there as well. So I was talking with one of his classmates that I happened to meet. And again, this turned into everybody is connected somehow. But I was telling him, like, hey, did they ever tell you about the story about the fundraiser that they had, like, back in, like, the 50s to, like, 70s, somewhere in that range, where they had the students picking cotton?
Wow. Yeah. That's a little crazy. He looked
at me so crazy. And I'm like, no, dude, it's real. No, because there used to be a lot of cotton fields over there, bro. Like people don't realize, like, bro, there was nothing over there. And it's like, I tell people, like, when you really think about how long Olive Free has been there, it kind of changes your mindset. Like, okay, it's not ghetto, it's just old.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, if you want to talk about a school that was ghetto, you got Trevor Brown, of course.
Yep, that neighborhood's so bad.
And ironically, I used to stay over there too. That was crazy.
Were you there in that era of like what's the name? Maryville, like stabbings were going on, where there's like a serial killer?
When was this?
This had to be like, someone will probably correct me, but it's like maybe like 7 to 8 years ago.
Oh no, we were long gone.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we moved out of there roughly like 2001, 2002-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we were long gone. But also too, it's like, what's crazy is how long I've been out in Avondale, Goodyear area, because I'm like on the border.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think like how much like Arizona's even grown in general.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, because like I was telling somebody the other day, like, dude, I remember when the Cardinal Stadium wasn't even a thought yet.
Yeah.
Like, or when Westgate, they just started building it. So it's like, imagine seeing now what has gone on just over like a whole century.
Yeah.
Or 2 centuries at that. So
one of my girlfriends,
or my bad, decades. I'm tripping out.
So my girlfriend had like her what's it called? Her friends from back in Wisconsin show up.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Good old Wisconsin, Midwest.
Don't kill me.
She had her friends come into town, and we showed them around a little bit. And just driving around downtown alone, I think I counted, and this was last year, 11 new high rises.
Yep.
Just in that concentrated area. Mm-hmm. And even in the outskirts, not even like a mile, maybe mile and a half, there's also so many just housing complexes going up left and right. And all of those businesses that used to be over there that I grew up, you know, just walking up and down the street and seeing all the time, like those are gone now. And all that neighborhood's just been like, or I wouldn't say gentrified, but the culture's for
let's
sure
call
gone.
It gentrification.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
well, I will say though, I do think like, even though we have arguably one of the smallest downtowns, like, in the country,
Yeah.
especially for how large of a city we are, downtown low key like is a vibe at the same time.
Yeah, because all of the entertainment portion is concentrated.
Mm-hmm.
So you have
Roosevelt Row.
So all those businesses are over there. You also have everything on Monroe.
Yeah.
You also have Crescent Ballroom.
Yeah.
Van Buren.
Mm-hmm.
Stardust. Ziggy's Pizza.
Yeah.
A bunch of other Vietnamese restaurants as well. There's a ton of clubs. I don't recommend. But that's a different topic. That's mainly a customer-based thing, not so much a establishment.
Amen.
But there's just so many businesses down there now, and obviously you have the Sun Stadium and all that other stuff as well.
Yeah.
But from 05 to now, there's been so much development in Phoenix that I don't even like recognize the place anymore.
Oh yeah.
Like I just don't. Culturally, I don't recognize it. Like economically, I don't recognize it anymore.
I know, dude.
It's wild.
Honestly, though, I do like the growth, but
I don't.
I do to a degree. I don't like that they're not building the correct themes. Like for starters, stop with all the houses.
Yeah.
That's not how you fix it. But again, I don't talk about political stuff too much here, so I'm gonna just stop.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
we all know the true reason behind why houses are being built, but
exactly.
We're not going to talk about it, but we know why it's happening.
Exactly. Anyways.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So, tell me about your introduction into getting into, cinematography.
Gosh, this was so long ago. I feel like I'm going to age myself. So,
I didn't know you was actually your age.
I'm 31 now. I'm about to be 32 next month. Which, when I tell people that, they don't really believe me.
Well, yeah, black don't crack, baby. Oh. You already know.
Yep. If you know what I contribute that to, not to go off topic, but if you're a black person in high school or just in school in general, in public school, you're fucking roasted for having ashy skin. Mm-hmm. So from an early age, you're told to wear lotion. You're told to take care of your skin. But just having lotion on your skin goes such a long way.
Yes.
Because for some of the guys, this is not a sexist thing, but mostly guys that I've been around of non-African American descent do not wear lotion. And the number one reason I hear is, oh, it doesn't show up. I don't get ashy. And it's like, I can see it. I can see it, bro.
Thank you. Like, dude, I be trying to say, like, bro, your skin still looks dry.
It still looks dry. If you don't start now, you're going to look like a lizard. It's so apparent. Because when I meet back up with those people and I see like what they look like, and I'm like, man, you've aged like milk.
Dog, because like, this is so funny too. So I started like shaving my head probably last year.
Yeah.
And what made me do it was I was working outside a lot, and it was like I just got so tired of my hair because dude, it was just hot. Like I was getting irritated. So one day I just went and cut it all off. And then next thing you know, I look in the mirror, I'm like, this is my look. Like, I don't know what it is, but this is my look.
Yeah.
So for a minute, everybody was trying to roast me about it. And I'm like, but then I'm looking at, all these women are telling me, like, it just fits. Like, and I'm like, I'm going with that.
Yeah, because it's worse when you try to fake it.
Exactly.
It's like it's not there.
Yeah, but
just
also, too, I always said, like, I tell everybody this. I would tell my barbers The second you see it getting worse and you cannot say, just start cutting.
No.
Don't let me try to stop you.
Yep.
Just start cutting. But thing is, I fully accepted it. Like, I was just like, yeah, when it's time, it's time. I'm not going to sit there trying to save it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of dudes these days, not as much as before, but in terms of like just dressing a certain way, embracing what they look like and making it work with like their entire aesthetic. There's a lot more of that these days, and it's kind of nice to see because
you think so?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in like 2017, 2018, like if you're a dude and you're into fashion, you got roasted. You just got called all types of slurs here left and right. Yeah, especially in the neighborhood that I grew up in.
Yeah.
If you try to just step outside of the box of like, hey, this is what a masculine.
Well, keep in mind though, like
yeah,
I came and we got completely off topic for the question.
No, we're good.
I know, but this is funny, but you know, I'm looking back at it now, like, because you remember like the jerking era that came.
Oh gosh,
I was heavy in that.
Goodness gracious!
Like, I had the colored skinny jeans.
Yeah, I call it the blood clot era because you just have no blood flow to the lower part of your legs.
Hey, look! You asked me to pin drop today, I'm gonna look at you crazy. I'm like, man, you trying to take me out, bro? Yep. Nah, but I don't know though, bro, because I do see where you're getting at with nowadays, but I also slightly disagree, only in terms of like, I see with a lot of fashion people, like, it almost looks like they're just trying to copy each other now. Yeah. And it's getting to the point where it's like, when is one of y'all going to start doing something different? Mm-hmm. Because like, so funny enough, I have this, I've told you about this project I want to do. I want to do this thing called fit battles.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to structure it to where it's like, okay, 3 rounds, but there's a theme for each round. So that way it's like, okay, you gotta actually change it up. Yeah. So, and I tell people all the time when they're like, man, you can't dress. I'm like, bro, we can do a fit battle at any time. Like, hey, trust me. Hey, like I said in the last episode, Mac don't duck no fades. So
that's fair. Yeah, I think there's a lot more guys that are embracing that now. Like you said, there's a lot of copy and pasting going on. For sure. But also there's a lot of doing too much.
Yes, agreed.
Because we were just at First Friday yesterday, and I always like seeing what people are wearing outside.
I'm never going to First Friday ever again. I'm sorry.
It's a pretty fun time. If you go with a group, it's like I compare First Friday to bowling. If you go with a fun group,
it's cool.
It's cool. If you go with a really fun group, it's really fun. But if you go either by yourself or with someone that's a little boring, then it gets kind of like, this is hectic. If you're much more introverted too, that kind of
exponentially that's probably why I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, no.
It's just, I mean, personally, I'm an introverted extrovert. Yeah. If that makes sense.
No, I get you.
It's like when it's time to work, I just want to put my head down and work. Yeah. But when it's time to have fun, all right, let's go out. Let's do something.
Oh yeah. I feel that.
But yeah, it was hectic. Not to get off topic, but it was so hectic yesterday because there was, and we're both car people. There was basically our lowrider section within the First Friday situation.
Oh yeah, I saw.
And it dawned on me that, school's out, because by the time this comes out, it will be, we're filming this on a June. Yeah. We're filming this in June. So yeah, high school's out. And there was a ton of that crowd outside. Yep. Like outside.
Yeah, so it's like, dude.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, nah, I feel you.
Yeah, a group of high school girls start having like a fake fight thing next to, we're talking like 6-figure lowriders with like quality paint job, quality A1 interior, quality like hydraulic suspension. full wheels, everything. They start having this like fake fight. And, you know, as an owner, as a car person, it's like, all right, cut that mess out. Otherwise, someone has to like fade me. One of the two. We're going to have to fade. And sure enough, that ends, argument ensues. And the first thing you hear is, well, we can fight. And I'm like, yes, I haven't seen a good street fight in a long time. But girlfriend got me out of there. Anyways, off topic. But it was a fun time. But if you go, just go with fun people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as my journey through cinematography, a while ago at the conception of YouTube, this was 2010, 2011. I'm sure you remember like Hoop Mixtape on YouTube, Yay Area's Finest, all of those things, all those channels. So we were heavy into hooping. Like myself, my best friend Jesse, and Andrew would show up at the rec center and just hoop. This was like when I had really good knees. Pause. Just had to put that out. I had really good knees.
Hey, no Diddy.
And we would play basketball. I kid you not, and this is not me being hyperbolic, for 8 hours straight. And we'll kind of try to mimic some moves that we saw on Yay Area's Finest that initially like got us started, and then that led into, oh well, we should make our own mixtapes. And then we made our own mixtapes. It was basically like so trash. It was so like I look back at that and it's so cringy. But from then I went home, edited, and I kid you not, it took me 5 hours to edit. And this was in like Windows, I think it was Sony Vegas or something like that. Or like Windows Media Player or something to that effect.
Windows Movie Maker.
Yes, Movie Maker. That is. It took me 5 hours to edit, but I had such a great time like making those films.
Yeah, so you were just hooked, right?
Yeah, I was hooked, like line and sinker right there. And then eventually that progressed me into doing that through college. Okay. And then...
okay, so you actually went to college for it.
Yeah. I went to GCC, not for that reason, but just to get all my prereqs done. So all the STEM stuff, get out of the way, super cheap.
Gotcha.
Then got into GCU. Funny enough, I kind of lied to my parents about that. So initially, you know how African parents are. They want you to be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or nurse. Or something in the medical field.
Oh, trust me, my niece is going through right now. Love you, Kayla.
And it is so...
You're going to be a lawyer, so we good.
Yeah, you have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a lawyer.
I know. But no, I
just know they will be disappointed.
Yes.
So my grades wasn't good enough to get into the engineering program. However, the film program was... I barely needed anything to get into that. Yeah. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just get into the film program, and then once I get my grades up, I could just get back into the engineering program. Yeah. I wasn't going back to the engineering program.
Oh, I feel you.
No. But graduated from college, and then just been doing that freelance.
Okay.
And then now I work with a media company as a assistant director, camera operator.
So that's what I really want to talk with you about. But before I get to that, so because a lot of people, when I tell them I do stuff like this, they're like, and like specifically one of my coworkers, actually, I was showing him some of my stuff when like I first got on the job, and he's like, dude, why are you working here? I'm like, dude, I'm not that good, actually. There's people way better than me, so I appreciate it, but I'm gonna still be humble at the same time. But he was asking me like, so you didn't go to college or anything? I'm like, no, I'm self-taught / just asking people questions here and there. And he was so surprised because, you know, most people assume that most videographers, cinematographers go to college. And I'm like, actually, a lot of them don't, believe it or not.
It's one of those trades. I would call it a trade at this point.
It is.
Where within, give or take, 2 to 3 weeks of just YouTube University and how dedicated you are, you could really get into the market.
I tell you all the time, YouTube is your friend when it comes to stuff like this.
100%.
Oh yeah, because truth be told, like I would have loved to have been an engineer, but I just can't do math very well. I kid you not, I was struggling to do like 5 times 6 the other day.
That's crazy.
No,
that's
because like dog, I was 30. I know, but the problem is I was just thinking too hard because I was already doing something. And I'm like, dude, why can't I? And like my boy had to help me. Like I'm like, I knew it was that for some odd reason my brain just was not clicking.
It just wasn't clicking.
Yeah, but nah, I feel it though. So regarding your job, because I ain't gonna say too much. We've talked about
We've talked about it.
I don't like that nigga personally. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Oh god.
But how is it working around said person?
It's not even like bad at all. To be honest.
I figured
there is like there's a professionalism to the work as well.
Yes.
It's not just we show up and then things just happen. So the way how everything's structured, we tour, and I'm much more heavy on the tour side of things. And then said individual has his show, and that part of the situation gets handled by 3 to 4 other people. Yeah. And that group handles like the day-to-day on that side of things. Right, so as far as like interactions, it's very minimal. Yeah, like you're really just there to handle like anything film related and that's it. Yeah, but like ideologies aside, he's been nothing but nice to me. Like he's been pleasant every time. It's not like he's like a dick or anything like that. He's just a person that has like very strong beliefs. Oh no, see, and I was just having a conversation about him, and my boy said, honestly, I don't think he believes most of the stuff that he says. I think it's more so just rage bait just to get clicks and views. And I'm like, I totally understand that. But there was one instance on Twitter that still bugs me to this day, and I just don't like that he switched up. Which one was that? How he called another sad person an idiot, all that. And now he's over here basically worshiping the guy. So. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean. But hey, again, his business, not mine. The way how I like to look at that situation is like, let's just say and this is not me caping for anybody. Bro. That's fair. I totally get you. I'm being impartial to the whole situation. I totally get where you're coming from. I think just we'll just go the man route. From a man perspective, if I had an issue with you and I voiced that publicly and we meet behind closed doors and we hash that out and we're able to have a conversation and it's like, oh, Mac is not actually like an asshole. Like he's not a bad guy. And then I publicly support you. Like I don't think, for me, in my opinion, that's not switching up. That's fair. That's just having a conversation and understanding each other. If he would have had the conversation and then being like, this guy's still a dick, blah, blah, then it's like, okay, well, at least you held firm to that. Yeah. But I think it takes a lot of self-control and self-actualization to actually have said conversation. No, I 100% agree. Like, I do tell people all the time, like, society is at a point where it is almost frowned upon to just sit down and actually talk and have a genuine conversation because it's seen as weak. And I look at it like this. It's if I sit down and I actually want to hear your perspective, I'm not going to interrupt you. That's also another problem I have. That pisses me off. Yeah. Like, that's also, dog, I will come up there and smack you. Like, but aside from that,
I at least need to make sure I hear your point, just so that way I have a clear understanding of what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of listening to respond rather than listening to understand.
Exactly. And that's what I feel most people are very terrible at nowadays.
Yeah. It's just very unfortunate.
Yeah, because go ahead.
It's hard to have that conversation if no one's willing to listen.
Exactly.
And it makes it very difficult for there to be any sort of middle ground, especially when you have your entire ideology rooted in your identity. It's like, this isn't really, like, I try to detach my opinions from who I am as a person.
Right.
In those circumstances, and at least approach those conversations to the point where it's like, okay, there's a chance I might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to be wrong and have this conversation and be proven wrong. And that's completely fine if I am.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example is how you were here when I was filming with Kijana. And, we're just standing outside and, you guys are asking me questions, obviously with me being a Jehovah's Witness.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always tell people it's going to always be tough for people to kind of understand my point of views. But I always kind of treat it as, look, I'm going to tell you whether you want to accept it or not is your business. I can't tell you what to believe, nor will I ever tell you what to believe. I can only tell you how I believe on certain subjects or how I feel about certain subjects.
Yeah.
After that, what you do with that is your business.
Yeah.
And quite right, I do not care what you do with that. But I do 100% agree with you, though. You do have to also detach your opinions from who you are as a person, because if your pretty much opinions are so strongly rooted to your identity, you're going to burn a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it, though.
There's also a lot of ego. I guess ego would be like the
that's
best,
the big thing.
The best nomenclature for that, because it's like, okay, if I lose to this person, that means their ideology wins, and who they are as a person views me as weak,
step above me.
And it's like, no, it's not like that at all.
Exactly. It's just like, bro, you're two human beings that just have different opinions.
That's literally it.
Yeah. So.
It's just one of those things.
Hey, at the end of the day, that nigga don't want to debate me. I'll beat him.
Oh gosh!
I was just saying
that would be quality entertainment.
Oh yeah, and also if he wants to run this fade, hey,
oh my god,
Mac don't dunk no fades, but like I said in the previous episode, I don't dunk no verbal fades. I'm over here like Mace, man. We not your little niggas. I ain't got no big homies.
That would be incredible. I know this in some other universe somewhere, this will actually happen, but to have him on the pod would be so incredible.
Yes.
And man, that would just, for me as just a third party observer, that would be amazing. Because I think you guys would have a good conversation, and he would challenge like a lot of your viewpoints, as I think you would his.
But here's the funny part, though. Most of our viewpoints would actually somewhat be the same, but it just, I feel like it would more so be he has to kind of accept yours aren't coming from the right place. Because keep in mind, he is also a man of God, so he claims.
Yeah.
But I say, if you were actually a man of God, you probably should not be partaking in politics, when it clearly tells you in the Bible to not participate in politics.
That's a little bit difficult, because
I agree, it is for some people.
When these ancient texts were written,
exactly,
no one could have accounted for this
Very true. Very true. But also, my rebuttal to that, though,
okay,
we're seeing the Bible, literally everything that says in the last days it's going to happen, it's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bible, in a sense, has prophesized a lot of current world things that are going on right now. And that's why it is hence called the last days.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not a theologian.
That's fair. That's fair.
I am Lutheran.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
I was raised Lutheran.
Interesting.
But the way how I see it is within the current days as we are right now, it's very difficult to try and preach the word of God.
Oh, agreed.
And get to the masses without this structure.
Agreed.
And clearly it has worked to some degree, because obviously with the election results and the way how politics are structured right now, it's just that's just the only way to be successful.
Agreed.
Is to reach the masses and also reach the youth, to at least try and get in early, because obviously those kids that are graduating college, high school, whatever the case may be, they're going to be in the I'd say the bottom 80% of the population for the most part, because obviously not everyone can be the 1%.
No, yeah.
It just takes a special kind of person.
Oh, yeah. That off. Agreed.
So if you were wanting your message to actually get out there, not only as like a Christian, but also just from like a quote unquote moral standpoint, there's really no other way to do that. Because standing on a corner with a bullhorn doesn't work. We all know that. Being able to get your message out there with the current structure that he's using, it just makes more sense.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to do that without politics.
You know, it's like Ashton Hall is one that I like to use. Like, we may look at it as corny, but I tell people it's actually genius when you really sit there and break it down. Because essentially, his videos are so enticing that you just feel like you have to sit there and watch it.
Personally, I haven't consumed most of his content.
No, that's fair. But I mean, more so for the general person.
Oh, yeah.
That's just doom scrolling. Like, because, trust me, I get where you're coming from. I think, even myself at times, I tell people, it sometimes gets hard for me to look at videos because I make them and I just don't want to see them all the time.
Yeah.
So it gets annoying at times. But I kind of sit there and just look at him and I'm like, I don't really care about what he's doing. I'm just like, I just really like the quality of it. But no, back to your point. No, like, I totally get it. Like, as far as how he kind of like does things, I don't knock it. Just to me, it comes off as hypocritical. But again, this is just my perspective.
But it's hard, at least in my opinion, to have, and I'm going to challenge that worldview here for a second.
Okay.
To have that opinion and to want there to be more people of God, of the Christian faith, and not try to use the tools that are available to you for that good.
Okay.
You know, it's a little bit difficult to say, hey, I am trying my best to get the word of God out there and convert a lot of secularists to Christianity and not use all the tools that are available to me, but at the same time go and pray every night knowing that I'm not doing my best. I am leaving something on the table. You know, it's a little bit difficult to try to justify that because I don't know what the Bible says as it refers to staying out of politics. at least on like the Protestant side of things and the Catholic side. Again, I'm not a theologian, so I'm not going to pretend to be. But from a logical standpoint, you have to fight fire with fire.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's just my opinion.
Okay. No, I totally respect it.
Yeah.
And, one point that you did mention there is, trying your best. So this might come off as a bit controversial from my end, but I say this and I fully stand on it. Religion is not for everybody.
Oh, 100%.
And I feel like most need to kind of accept that, because even God says in the Bible, I don't want anybody to feel forced to serve me. I want you to want to serve me. But it is up to you at the end of the day.
Yeah, but we're also called to be disciples.
Of course.
And but it's not like he's saying, hey, you have to da 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 da. It's like, hey, you need to stop living the life of sin. Not in the sense of like, hey, you need to be Christian.
Oh,
it's
of course.
Like, just stop all the secular things that you're doing.
Right.
Just be like a better person. Which, in my opinion, I'm not the best example of that. When most people
aren't. What makes you say that?
Because I don't think I live my life according to the Bible, like page by page.
Oh, to be honest,
like we're all sinners.
Nobody does.
Yeah, so it's a little bit difficult for me to say that because I'm a hypocrite as well.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to that,
we all are at times.
So,
I think more so though, but also because my biggest pet peeve is hypocrisy. Mm-hmm. But also, I kind of tell people when I say that, I mean, you're being a hypocrite, but you're not acknowledging it or trying to fix it. Mm. Because if you acknowledge it and you're actually trying to fix it, I have nothing but respect for you at that point, because it takes essentially nowadays a special person to actually be able to accept, you know what I'm not doing is right.
Yeah.
Let me try to better myself. Mm. Not too many people are willing to do that nowadays.
Yeah. And with today's generation, it's a lot. I know I sound like an old head.
I mean, we both kind of are. That's
crazy. That's just unk status.
Bro, hey, look, there. Bro, I've been unk since I was born, dog. So
you didn't work a day in your life,
exactly.
It's like, oh,
nah, but even then, though, too, like I try to tell a lot of these younger kids, man, I'm like, dude, like honestly, you're gonna mess up. Like, you gotta accept that straight out the gate. Like, you can't do everything perfect. You're never going to do anything perfect.
Yeah. I try to push most of the younger ones in my life away from the traditional route of making money, where it's like, oh, hey, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get a job.
Agreed.
Which in today's economy, that's not really like
it almost doesn't work.
It doesn't work anymore unless you're going to like a really
like you have to
job.
Yes.
Doctor, lawyer,
engineer,
basically most of the STEM programs.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to humanities, it just doesn't make as much money anymore as it pertains to the internet and how the economy works nowadays.
Because
even with media.
Yeah.
With media, it's just not the same anymore. You have people that do media coaching that don't even like make content in terms of like make passion projects anymore.
Yeah.
Or even have clients that are like, hey, this is a Sony that's paying us to do this commercial or blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
All they do is just offer online courses and they just sell that monthly.
Yes.
And having digital products makes them money.
Yeah, because I feel like what really like got us cool was the fact of I saw that you take a lot of pride in all the work that you do, but also you still care about the genuine aspect of I want to make this project and I want it to represent something.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't see a lot of anymore, because aside from your like job with touring and all that, my question is like, how do you balance out that and also making passion projects?
I mean, I try my best, and
oh yeah, we talk about this all the time.
We talk about this all the time, man. It gets to a point where it's like, okay, well, there are things that I can't change and that I can't control. So the only things that I'm in control of is my free time and how I react to certain situations when they're presented to me. So with passion projects, I just accept that I either have to rush it, or it's going to take a while and I have to be patient. And that would mean me sacrificing time with loved ones or time that I get to see like my nieces and nephews or anything of that nature, just family and friends times, and just being social in general. Also making time for myself just to detach from everything and decompress as well. Because obviously as guys, like we don't really fall into like the mental health is
important.
Like important.
That.
Yeah, you know. So making time for all that stuff. And then realizing that I also have a job to do. I have to be professional, regardless of what I'm going through, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I have to show up every day and be there.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Trust me, I stress this to people all the time. It's like it do definitely be tough, especially being a man in today's society. Because let's be real, no man wants to be seen as weak.
No,
and it's like.
No person in general.
Oh, yeah. But at the same time, though, I think it does get tough because it's like, yeah, you could be going through anything and it's like you're still expected to show up, clock in, do your job.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
And I think society has gotten better with that as well.
Oh, yeah.
As far as like men leaning on other men for support, like emotionally. Because some of the stuff we go through, it's just an optics thing. Mm-hmm. Women won't really understand, and vice versa too. Some stuff that women go through, we won't understand because we're very
and then also
zoomed out on portions of
us being black men in America. There's a lot of things that people won't understand. There is a lot of stuff.
It's very challenging.
And that's honestly always the battle that I have. It's like, you know, just how I look at things in the world, and it's like, God, it's just insane. And like people just don't want to sit down and actually, like we talked about earlier, just have a genuine conversation. Like, well, this is what I go through. I get you probably won't ever understand this, but this is what I go through. This is what people that look like me go through.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about it as well. Like I understand, again, it goes back to the whole thing of like, I'm only in control of certain aspects of my life and my community.
Of course.
I tend to hold a mirror back to my community before I try to change other people's minds.
Oh, of course.
About how my community is perceived. Because as you know, with most jokes and most stereotypes, there is a lot of truth in it. That's what makes it as funny or not funny in the long run. So it's very hard because you know this. Like just in the Black community currently, it's not looked at as a good thing if you have a 9-to-5.
I feel like that's not even just the Black community, though. I feel like that's just this younger generation.
To be fair, that
because like. Dude, it is so weird to me too. Like, when did having a stable job, making stable money become a bad thing?
I don't understand.
Like, I don't get it either. And I'm like, so you're hating on me because I go to work Monday through Friday. I make enough to pay my bills and also occasionally do some fun stuff.
Yep.
But you're over here having to hustle and scrounge up just to pay anything.
To maintain optics.
Exactly.
to people that don't give a damn.
Dude, let's be real.
Give a damn about that at all.
Dude, let's be real here. You're doing all that to pay that lease payment on that Hellcat that you.
It's so sad. It's so sad to watch.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, buddy.
Have you ever walked into a room, and this is not just for Black people, when you see a ghetto person of your community act in a certain way, and you just feel so embarrassed?
You know,
like just extremely embarrassed. It's like, damn, like this looks so bad.
So
right now.
I'm going to say this. I only don't because I just have learned, don't worry about everybody else. Mm-hmm. You can only control what you do yourself.
Yeah.
But also, that reminds me of another great conversation I was having, because for starters, most people don't understand. There's a difference when we're talking about. There's a difference between Black folks and niggas.
Yeah.
And they don't understand this. But then I tell them every other race has their own version of niggas. Now, they're not called that.
Yeah, it's something else.
Yeah. I mean, for example, white people, they have white trash.
Oh, yeah.
Hispanics, they got Edgars now.
This is not a diss on one of our friends, Edgar, who was, it's just a term, yes, by the way.
Yes.
But if you do fit the category, I'm sorry to say.
You got the haircut, bro.
Yeah.
No chemical. I told Asians, Southeast Asians.
Yep.
And if you want to get really specific, Filipinos, I feel.
I don't have much.
Keep in mind, I love the Filipino people, but
Southeast Asians. Now that I think about it,
I do actually.
And most of the ones that I've like had interactions with, has been nothing but pleasant. But I haven't seen like that ghetto version of like.
Now I'm not even saying they're ghetto. It's just they're just looked down upon. Because of their darker skin, typically. Yeah. So that's why I say it with them. But it's like, I look at it like that, and it's like, dude, like, when is it going to be understood? There's a difference, bro.
It's so crazy. That reminded me, like, most Africans don't like being associated with African Americans.
Oh, yeah. Dog, look.
Especially in the older generations.
Oh, I know. I know.
Do not like that at all.
We are seen as lazy to them. But here's my rebuttal to that. So, if you look in the history books, when it talks about how essentially they sold us back in the day.
Yeah.
My boy pointed this out perfectly, because we were having the same conversation, like how they like to call African Americans lazy, and he's like, "Y'all niggas sold us to work. How are we lazy?" You know, like that. When you look at it like that, I'm like, he's got a point, bro. I'm like, you sold my ancestors to work. What is lazy about that, bro?
I think it's much, and this is, I don't speak for all Africans, at least in my opinion, it's much more of a access to opportunity.
That's fair. That is totally fair.
And until, I mean, you've traveled the world.
Yep.
Until you've been in a third world country.
Oh, yeah. You don't realize.
Yeah, you just don't realize it at all. And it's like, or even just like a really bad situation. I'm not saying you have to go to like
100%.
Like a Mexico or like an African nation to like really feel what poverty is and what access truly means. But
dang, that's something fly in my eye. Jesus.
Yeah, until you're at like rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know, we don't really appreciate clean running water. Mm-hmm. You don't appreciate having internet, electricity, air conditioning, freedom of speech. Like you don't appreciate those things until you've seen the lather.
Yeah.
You know?
But also too, I think in some cases, like how people look at it like, well, you should feel blessed to be in America. I'm like, dude, that's kind of a fallacy, though. At the same time,
in what way?
In the instances of like, some people treat it like when they're talking to like foreigners or something. They'll treat it like we can just go out and do whatever.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, there's still things we can't do here. Like, let's calm down a little bit. So that's where I say it's a fallacy, because I'm like, dude, like, you're acting like we can just up and just go rob a bank and like everything's gonna be fine. Like, no, like there's still rules here, buddy. Like,
yeah, and in that same lane, some of my family members from back home, there is this idea that you come to America and immediately you have a job, you're making so much money.
Oh yeah.
And it got so bad, you know who you are. It got so bad that they would only call to ask for money. Every time. Like, it was like clockwork, dude. It was just be like, oh, every 6 months, like, hey, can we get, like, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, what do you want, nigga? It's like, this is all a freaking formality. I know you're calling because you want something.
I'm like, dog.
And it's always like,
it's like, you ain't calling me like God knows how long, bro.
It's like you don't
like, you answer that phone, you're just like, how much, bro?
Like, for real. And I've only sent money back home once. And once I did that, I got seen as a meal ticket. So every like 6 or so months, it's like, oh, this person got sick. They had like a hernia or something. Can you send some money? Blah, blah, blah. It happened to me. It's happening to my parents till this day.
Yeah.
And all of my family members that are here. And it's just so wild to me because the way how I grew up, and I have so much respect for my father because he's a master accountant. Back in the day, he used to work for Mobile One as an account manager. And we were in the refugee camp. This guy figured out a way to build a business and get us out of the refugee camp, which is like unheard of with 5 children.
Oh, wow.
So what he would do is he found a way to make some money and then started selling ice water in the markets, saved up enough money to build a house. And then after that, sold more ice water, saved up enough money to build a poultry farm. So after that, he was able to sell meat in the market, saved up enough money to build a water reservoir. So now people come to us for water. Wow. So he doesn't have to go out anymore. Built enough wealth to build a freaking clinic in the camp and get some residual income from that. And then after all of that, he sold that entire enterprise. And then we were able to move here through a resettlement program.
Wow.
So when people really say like, hey, there's no access to opportunity and da da da, I'm just like, bro, there's access. You're just not willing to like
actually
really
go
dig
look
deep.
for it. Yeah.
Like really dig deep.
Oh yeah.
It's out there. There's opportunity out there. And I always like mention this to everyone I come across.
Oh yeah.
You will not catch me dead homeless. Like, absolutely not. It will never happen.
Oh, trust me. I'm right there with you, bro. Because like when I talk business with people and like, they're so surprised, like, oh, you started your detailing business during COVID? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I had no choice. Like, I literally got fired from Carvana, but that's the whole nother. Still mad about that one. I'm still mad, low key. But honestly, though, I had it coming, low key.
Well, then, yeah, you're cooked.
Well,
It's straight
I was defending myself. I will say it like that. No. I really was.
Oh, damn.
I didn't fight anybody.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was just some words were said, and I made somebody look bad.
Oh.
Because they were talking crazy about me. So I just said, say it to my face then.
Oh, okay.
In front of everybody.
There was no like exchange of the BAN word. The phrase.
It was more subtle.
Okay.
It was more subtle. But anyways, got fired. Next thing you know, I'm going to my first ever SEMA, and this was in 2019. Next thing you know, I get reached out to by a friend about going to Australia and Japan. Go there. I come back. Everything's shutting down. So I'm trying to find work. I get a job literally a week before I'm about to start. They're like, we just got put on a hiring freeze, bro.
Jeez.
Like, so you might have to wait it out for a while. So go find another job or do what you can.
That's
like,
tough, dude.
All right.
Jeez.
So go and start my detailing business. So when I tell people about getting an LLC and all that, they're like, oh, like just go through legal. No, just go on the Secretary of State website. It's so easy.
File the shit yourself.
Exactly. And I'm like, dude, like it's not hard. And then it's like with getting business credit, I'm like, dude, it's not hard. Like they're itching to give you it at that point. So it's like, I 100% agree. Like, yes, I understand if you don't have the resources to go try and find like the resources you need.
You can walk though.
Exactly. But also too, if you're just blatantly not trying, I can't feel bad for you.
I can't either.
Because it's like, dude, I literally like hearing story about your father and how you grew up, hearing other stories about people, whether they immigrated here or were born in the States and literally built themselves up from nothing. It's like, dude, I can't feel bad if you're just not trying. And I get it. As a black man, we already have something against us. But at the end of the day, I always tell myself, look, I'll fight through anything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're not going to treat me as less than. Like, I'm going to prove to you and prove to myself I can do it.
Exactly.
So that's how I see it.
And it's like, looking back, to do that in such a volatile environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this is my dad doing all this. My mom also helped as well.
Yeah.
Like all my siblings pitched in. But to do it in a third world country where envy is so prevalent, and the number one thing is not only being a provider, but being a protector of a household, safety.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Exactly. You let one of your children go out to play with whoever, they might not come back just out of sheer envy. Like someone just doesn't like that you're being successful and your business is booming. They would just straight up like just kill one of your kids.
That's crazy.
Like just straight up out of jealousy or witchcraft or whatever the case may be. Like people just go missing.
Dang.
It's insane. And for all of us to make it here and have just the opportunity to work, it looking back on it, it is such a monumental feat that if you just looked at Mount Everest and be like, yep, we got to get up there, you'd be like, hell no.
Yeah.
It's not happening. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Like if my dad had that mentality, we'll still be back in Africa now. Like probably one of us would be dead or some shit like that. You know, and even now they're still farming. Like in 2014, he got to speak at the White House for sustaining immigrant farming. And he did great with that. And it's just cool. Like,
wait, who
those steps.
Who was in during that time?
I think it was the Obama's second term.
Oh,
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
He was 2008 to 2012.
Wait, so we got to meet Barry?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
Look, man, I ain't even a political dude, but Barry my nigga, bro. Like, I don't, like, that's one dude, like, look, how you felt about him politically, I don't care, but in terms of character, I will run a fade for that nigga.
I wouldn't run a fade for any politician, to be honest.
Hey, look, I feel you, but Barry was the one I actually had some respect for because he at least on camera was a decent person.
I don't feel the same way.
That's fair. That's fair.
To be honest, I don't really give a fuck about you being like. I'm dead ass. I'm so dead ass. I'm like, I'm looking at policy and I'm just like,
nah, I feel you. I feel you.
Like, we're dying out here.
Again, we're talking.
If you're black,
we're talking about somebody that's kind of more into politics or somebody that like.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair.
yeah. So I'm like, it is what it is, bro. But still. Barry my nigga. I don't care. Look, if I get Barry on this podcast, you cannot tell me anything at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be like Kanye. You cannot give me any advice.
Oh my gosh, bro. But yeah, that like.
Nah, but I respect it though, bro. I respect it.
Dude, that's where I get like my hustle mindset from.
Oh yeah, because you saw him do it.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
you're the youngest out of your siblings?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Same with me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I got all the food, all the love, all the extra sleep time.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest and the tallest.
Hey,
which is crazy.
You know, it's funny too because I'm actually the second tallest. Well, actually, we're pretty close. Me and my brothers, except for one, like the one before me and my oldest brother. Mm-hmm. Us three are the tallest out of the 5 kids.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because like when my dad had seen me after a while, like he's like, when you shave your head? I'm like, oh, I just started doing this. Like, oh, you got a full beard. I'm like, I've had this for a long time now.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Dang, I can't even do that. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm towering over you, Loki. But I will not touch that, man.
Nope.
But I feel it though. But we at that point now. You got some questions for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about
bro,
like fashion,
ask me
YouTube, car stuff?
I told you to bring me 5 to 10 questions. It can be about whatever, bro.
Oh, okay.
You can mix it up. I do not care.
I mean, we've pretty much covered
we covered a lot, bro.
I had.
So keep in mind, before you go, Kijana called me out on this. That's why we did a Mac episode, because apparently I tell people I don't like to talk about myself too much.
Why?
I don't know why. I've just never really liked to talk about myself. Like, obviously, we're conversing. You'll figure out a lot more about me. But in terms of just like openly, like, oh, this is what I like. I've just never been that person, bro. Mm. Yeah, but so that's why I try to do this segment now.
Okay, I have. This is not so much a question, but so much like a rant. Like, how do you feel about like the social media space right now as it pertains to cars and car content?
It's annoying. And I'm going to say it like this. For starters, let's take the 1,000 horsepower minimum.
Oh, gosh.
We're going to start there.
Oh, gosh.
First off, half of y'all don't even know what 1,000 horsepower feels like. Half of y'all don't even know what above 500 horsepower feels like. Yeah. So this whole, I can't respect it if he's not putting 1,000 horsepower down. Shut up. I mean, half of y'all that are even saying that don't even have your license yet.
It's so true.
That's what's wild to me, bro.
That's so true.
But on top of that, too, though, I think it is starting to get a little bit more, gaining a little bit more individuality. Like, a lot more people are kind of starting to get back to how it should have been the entire time. So I do like where it's going back to.
Yeah.
But I still think there's more work to do.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like with I've kind of noticed this where it's like just tracking analytics, because I want to start a YouTube as well. And I propose that whole build idea online, but in my own way, it's going to be much more like thought out and not so much just like, here's a vlog, this is what I'm doing. It's like, no, this is the story behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to just spend like $8,000 to $9,000 on building a car just to be like, this is the car. This is we're so happy.
So you don't want to be like all the other YouTubers?
I just don't want to be like that. I have so much respect for Night Ride and those guys because there's a story behind every build, you know.
And like, because going to SEMA, I've gotten to meet some of the big YouTubers. I will say, one I was totally wrong about was TJ Hunt.
Okay.
I thought he was going to be a total dick. He was actually super nice. Actually, he's in one of my SEMA vlogs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and I was saying he was roasting me as a joke because he was giving me some camera tips because he's like, for one, stop holding the camera down here. You need to hold it up here. I'm like, nah, but, I told him, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, man, and thanks for the advice.
Yeah.
The one I don't like, Dustin Williams. That dude is a dick. I do not care what anybody has to say. He is a dick. If you like him,
I'll shoot him a little bail. Maybe he was having a bad time.
No. Like, he wasn't even having a bad day. It's just the fact of, I'm like, bro, like, for you to kind of act as arrogant as you do, and, like, I've talked with people that are bigger than you and they've been cool with me. Yeah, bro, like, you need a dick, bro. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Pause.
But, hey, kudos to your success. I'll say that much. Definitely successful. I got to give him that.
Yeah, sometimes I look at the analytics and I just don't understand how. I mean, I do and then I don't. Like,
it's
YouTube,
weird, bro. It's weird.
With how the CPMs work and how the algorithm is pushing right now.
You know what's my biggest YouTube video?
Which one?
On my personal channel, it is the year that the 997 RWB Porsche that was owned by Greg English from Innosatech, he debuted his there. That is my highest viewed video. And it's so 50-50 because everybody hates that I didn't show the car enough. But I literally went into that video with the intent of, I want to talk to him and hear about the car. I want you to see the owner of the car, because you're going to see the car on social media all the time.
Yeah.
Why not get to know the guy behind the car?
Yeah, a lot of the YouTube consumption right now is just consumption for consumption's sake.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm on the toilet, I'm doom scrolling. I don't really want to hear you talk about this car. I just want to see the car. Like it's cool that you're talking
attention spans are so bad right now.
It's very bad. Yeah. I'm in that same boat as well. As far as like creating content in general, it's just
same.
Like, I'll have one idea and it was just like
spawn a bunch of other ideas.
Yeah, and then
I get it.
With my work schedule, it's like, damn, we've had 2-3 weeks.
I can only imagine, buddy.
Shit. Then the enthusiasm drops, but I got to remind myself, like, hey, I really want to do this project, so I got to stick to it. But in terms of analytics with YouTube, everything spikes. It's like almost like I would say it's like a reverse, like, bell curve.
Yes.
So natural bell curve, just going right up. If you announce a build, it's everyone's like super hyped for it. I've looked at like Jimmy Oaks' channel, because I feel like that's like the most comparable. Like, every day I go to a shop, I work on a car. This is Ash chassis, blah blah blah. I'm Ash chassis bias. That's a topic for another time.
That's fair.
But from when his build gets announced to the next episode, like going through it, the viewership would drop. Let's just say if it's like at 180,000 views, that drops to like 110. and then you start announcing parts, and it's like, oh, okay, we'll stick around 100, and then the engine reveal, oh, now we're back to like 160, and then we get to wiring, holy shit, now we're back at like 80,000 views. So it's such a like ebb and flow that it spawned this
and
whole
it's
new
almost
motto.
like you have to pick the in car too. Right
Exactly.
now. That's what's also getting annoying.
Yeah, it spawned this whole genre now of like building a car in 24 hours. And it's like, that's going to be a shitty car. And it's like, dude, okay, I get it. We built this car in one episode. Who has time to sit down and watch 5 hours straight of YouTube?
Somebody with nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. If it's your job, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you're clipping stuff all day and every day, great. But 5 hours?
Dude,
Like come on, break it up.
Man. It is what it is.
Shout out to Matt Armstrong. Shout out to everyone that's doing that. They figured out the algorithm. It's a business at this point.
Exactly.
There's some passion behind it, but I understand it's a business. It's content creation. However, it's hard to think outside of like, hey.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's hard to respect it too.
I still respect it.
I
it's
respect
just the audience that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
That's fair.
Like, at what point does it become about quality? So now what I find myself watching is fabricators. Like fabricators that build drift cars.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, oh my gosh. Okay, you have like the skill set. There's like some engineering thought behind this.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, it looks good because you have everything polished here. And
100%.
it's like all unequal length here or whatever the case may be, like turbo manifold, this, that, and third. I'm watching this guy called Third Strike Ben, and he's Australian. Great guy, like on camera, but he's just building shit right now. And like, I learn a lot. And this is like a long fucking winded question, but my question to you is like, I have those channels that I watch that gives me like mental growth as far as education goes. Like, do you have like a top 5 like podcast or content creation like channels that you're watching right now? That's like,
so no specific order. And shout out to the Grits and Eggs podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, solid dudes based out of Atlanta. Due to knowledge.
I don't know what that means, but
yeah, but no, they solid. More so just talking about stuff from a African American perspective, and this could be about anything. Let's see here. Other podcasts. Because like I said, I have a hard time with watching other stuff because I do it myself or listening to other stuff. So like that's where it gets a little tricky at times. Or I tell people, I mainly just like to watch or listen to my friends' stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, A, I'm supporting the homies, of course, but also too, it's like, I'm actually going to encounter these people.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But I do like Adam LZ a lot just because he's one guy I actually really respect.
Yeah.
Because the dude started off with BMX and did a full 180.
Yep.
And like became one of the biggest car guys we know on the internet.
To be honest, I would say he is the biggest. Like,
I'd argue he is too. Yeah.
In general, aside from when Hoonigan was booming, it was Hoonigan, Adam, and then not even maybe Adam, TJ.
Yeah.
And It's Just a Six or one of those guys that are in like the Midwest or something like that.
Yeah. But
oh, sorry. What am I talking about? He's not the biggest. Whistling Diesel is the biggest right now.
Not
and
lying.
Then Adam LZ.
You not lying.
My bad. I wasn't thinking on that one.
I'm trying to think who else.
And it could be anything from like automotive to fashion to art.
My guy Matt Freights that runs Fire Footwear podcast. I mean, aside from we actually have collaborated in the past and we talk a lot as well.
Yeah.
I really like the structure and the quality that he puts into his work. So yeah, he's a guy I like to watch as well. Shout out to you. Yeah, and then that's really that what I can think of in this moment. Like actually one that I do like as well, Sneaky Leak podcast.
Sneaky Leak?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a sneaker podcast.
Oh yeah.
But it's made up of all women.
Okay.
So what's cool about it is, because I say this all the time, I get so tired of hearing fashion stuff from only dudes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, bro, like we're kind of just bouncing off of each other in a sense. Yeah. Pause.
It's like an echo chamber for
exactly. Part, yeah. So I'm like, to hear these women talk about, you know, similar stuff that I like as well is cool because I'm getting to learn a different perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like their pod as well. I need to catch up on it because it's been a while, but yeah, oh man, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so that's probably it.
Okay. Spawning from that, I guess we'll just do Mount Rushmore style situation.
Okay.
As far as the way how you create content right now, inspiration wise, like is there anyone in Hollywood that you like look to this person and it's like, okay, this person is doing XYZ this kind of way. I want to kind of emulate some aspects of that, whether that be a director, a cinematographer, a podcast host, show host, whatever the case may be. Like, is there anyone like a Ryan Coogler or whoever?
He's on there. He's on there.
You know.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler is on there. Could also throw actors on there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So Ryan Coogler and of course Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
Because I see Michael B. Jordan as this new generation's Denzel.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like he can play any role.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's kind of sad because Denzel has a kid, and his kid's pretty good at acting.
Exactly.
Okay.
John David Washington.
He was good in The Creator. Like,
yeah,
that was so.
But
good.
Problem is, I can't see him as anything else other than Ricky Jerry.
Oh my God.
That's the problem because he played that role so well.
That's so tough.
But of course, when you realize, oh, he actually did play football.
Mm-hmm.
Like it actually got a tryout with the Rams. I'm like, I wonder why he's so good. So it's hard to see him as anything else, but nah. So those two, Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. Okay. Trying to think. Crispy Media is one. And I've actually gotten the chance to meet him, so I was super grateful for that. So he's one that I do like to watch his stuff a lot. Trying to think of who else. Gary from Hoonigan.
Oh,
because I've gotten to meet him too.
Shout out to Gary. Yeah. He is hilarious.
So
if you've ever watched his Rant Wednesdays, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I got to meet him a few years ago at SEMA, and he was introducing me to a bunch of other people. Got to meet Samit as well, so that was cool. Yeah. Gary, I like him because he's literally just genuinely himself the entire time. So he's one as well.
And it's also nice to see someone of that status be from your community.
Yes.
Because I'm always big on seeing role models out there.
Oh yeah.
That we can at least follow their like footsteps, so to speak.
100%.
You know.
Oh, what else you got for me?
Going back to like the whole content creation. Oh, that was the electrical buzz. Going back to the whole content creation thing. I have a gripe with a lot of the customers that I've had in the past. I don't know if you've been hired out to do video work before, and you haven't.
Well, not really. Like,
yeah.
In terms of what I was just doing it as a favor.
Okay.
Yeah, / to kind of help myself get better. But I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
when I liken this to the quick versus good versus cheap model of things.
You can only have
two of the three.
Yes.
And what people don't seem to understand, and I solely blame Sony for this, the rise of the prosumer market has put content creation in such a dark place. And people view content creation as, oh, I don't need to have the quality anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I could just shoot this on my phone.
That is getting annoying too.
It is very annoying. And I just want to get your perspective on that. Because I know you said you haven't been like officially hired. I'm sure you will at some point.
In due time. So I kind of treat it with my own projects. Like me, I have a hard time, and this is kind of a weird perspective. I almost intentionally try to mess up on stuff. It is so weird. I know. I'm about to explain.
What? Okay.
I know.
I'm gonna hear you out.
So when I'm in post, because like when I'm filming, I try to get everything as perfect as possible.
Okay.
When I'm in post, I will almost leave something, and it's not really intentional. I'd more so say it's unintentional, and it'll be like the simplest thing from, I probably could have color graded that a little bit better. But the thing is, only somebody that really knows what they're doing is going to know. And it's more so like, okay, subconsciously I'm leaving something for me to look at and be like, okay, I need to improve there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go back and look at that project and I'm like, okay, I actually have improved.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I first started, my color grading was terrible. But also too, like I would get told by someone like, it's actually not that bad for somebody that's not like hasn't been doing it very long.
Yeah.
But I compare it to now, I'm like, y'all were lying to me, bro.
Some people are just too nice, bro.
Exactly. I'm like, man.
I wish people had treated me like harshly, like more harsher with my work.
Yeah.
That way I can actually improve exponentially.
Yeah, but I know that sounded crazy when I first started saying that, because I had to like really think it out low key. But but it's always a constant strive to get better.
Yeah.
And like, I also feel like too, like when you give somebody advice on just how to up their quality, they don't want to take it. And it pisses me off because like I'll be looking at some people's videos and I'm like, dude, your lighting is so trash, and that's why it looks all fuzzy.
Yeah. So within the political sphere, I watch everyone else's content as well.
Okay.
Not for so much like the topics that they're doing, but more so the behind the scenes and seeing how things are lit, what they're using for like distribution and all this other stuff, like how their set is designed, like what color choices they're picking out, like just all the tone shifting and like the split toning that they're doing. And I kind of find myself like commenting on stuff and like asking questions. But it's funny, in all the comments, it's like, oh, Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. And it's just my comment in there is like, hey, what light did you guys use for the actual windows? It looks really good. Can you just like point me in the right direction? And it's just like, it just gets buried and no one ever sees it. But I'm sure whoever's like watching that, it's just like, oh, someone recognizes it. Because on our set, it's the same way. Where it's like, I wish someone would notice like the subtle details that we're making.
You know, it's funny. So I did see a clip on TikTok and I actually saw you in it. Mm-hmm. And it was cracking me up because I'm like, I always just want to mess with him and be like, hey, so like, how'd you get that angle, by the way? I kind of like that.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just wish someone would notice that with our work. I'm sure someone has.
And that's why it's like, when it comes to content creation, like, it really only takes a few sentences for me to really sit there and tell myself, I don't need to talk to you about this because you're not going to understand a word I'm saying. Yeah. Or like, you're not going to understand like why I'm asking you these questions. So it's like, yeah, and also too, like, to some people that do content creation, like specifically podcasting, and this is where I have my gripe. Just because you think you're good at talking, that does not mean you need to have a podcast. Yeah. Because even myself at times, like, I question, do I need to have a podcast? But then, like, I kind of get reassurance because, like, I'll have people tell me, like, bro, like, I really loved that episode, actually. Like, I really like how you ask questions and all that. Yeah. And, like, it really just gets people going, and then it just keeps, like, spawning into, you know, different conversations throughout the pod. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, honestly, I just treat it as we just having a regular conversation we would have without the camera being there. But, you know, because to me, everything I do is art. And this is where I tell people, like, don't ever call me a YouTuber. I'm an artist. Oh, gosh. Yep. Yeah. And, like, yes, I get it. Calling a podcast art is a little absurd depending on who you ask. But
no, I don't think
depending
so.
on who you ask.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But to me, everything I do, I want it to stand the test of time to where somebody can actually go and look at it and be like, you know, that is actually still relevant to this day. Yeah. So that's how I want every project I'm involved with to be.
That's fair. I kind of liken that to, I don't know if you've seen the Kanye West dark fantasy movie, right?
Yes, it's been a while though.
The first time I saw that, like, that was, for me, that was life-changing, because the first time I saw it was, I think, 7 years after the album came out. So I was 7 years old. I saw it, and I couldn't really, like, differentiate whether this is, like, relevant till now or not. Like, the lines were so blurred that if he would have released it tomorrow, it would still be like, oh, these visuals just pop. Like, the concept of the album, the entire, like, concept of the visuals behind it, like, everything is like so, everything is so relevant that I've been chasing that feeling for an audience member. Or at least, like, if I was in my shoes watching my own content, I would want myself to feel that way 10, 20, 30 years from now.
You talk about music albums. I tell people this all the time. The greatest curated rap album or hip-hop album of all time is Common's B.
I haven't actually, like, listened to that album. But I'm sure I'll I'm not a regular black person. Oh my God. I'm gonna go there. To be honest.
I mean, some would say I'm not either, but
it is what it is. I don't listen to stereotypical, like, rap music. Like, I like ambient, like soundscapes as well.
That's fair.
Like I find inspiration in a lot of music outside.
Oh yeah,
of pop,
same.
You know,
same. I mean, if anything, the one thing that I'm very good at when it comes to making content, sequencing music, I think is arguably my greatest gift when it comes to making content. Because I almost tell people, if I hear any song, I'm into, I can do something with that.
Yeah.
I know I can. And, you know, it may not always be perceived well, but if I like it, I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, I don't really care if you like it or not. Like, I'm cool. But going back to the album, so I say that's the most perfectly curated album. I'll say in music in general, because every song goes into the next perfectly. Like, it almost feels like it's a true story because everything just flows so well. And crazy enough, he just released the 20th anniversary version. I know. And
oh my goodness.
One song that I want you to peep, The Food, because
I've heard The Food.
Yeah, so
I haven't heard the entire album as a whole, but singles through that.
You know that the one on the main album is the live version that they performed on the Chappelle Show.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's actually the live version. So this 20th anniversary, he released the original version, studio recorded. I literally posted on my story. I'm so grateful that he switched to the live version for the actual album, because like the original was cool, but I'm like, the live version just hits so much better.
Yeah, it's just like a different energy.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but nah, I feel it though.
As far as dating is concerned, like for me, with my current girlfriend, I found her in like this, I don't even call it like secular, but just like dating online and stuff like that.
Were you scared?
No.
You're better than me, bro. I'll be so scared.
Because I don't know. I don't worry about stuff that's not in my control.
That's fair. I feel that, but
like, what would you be scared about?
Get out.
No. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought it was just like being cheated on.
No, the movie, bro. Like, oh, nah.
Oh, my gosh. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. The first time I went to her house, it was literally that. It was that movie. Backcountry, Wisconsin, Eau Claire, no street lights, extremely dark. You have like wildlife everywhere. You know, dad owns guns, type shit. Yeah, but anyway,
bold man.
I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's whatever. But like, where would you like look for somebody for a life partner?
Oh, the library.
A library. It's crazy.
Oh no, I just tell that joke all the time, bro. I always tell homies, like, man, I can't find a good girl while you try the library. You're like, what? I'm like, they there for a reason, bro. Like,
that's fair. Yeah.
But I mean, we call it the Kingdom Hall. Yeah, that's probably gonna be my best bet.
But I'm just gonna be presumptuous here.
Okay.
You much baddies in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Right. But it's still the same get out situation.
Yeah. Well, not. I don't gotta worry about it with that.
I don't know.
You gotta worry about that more than I gotta worry about that.
No, I mean, with my situation, there's been some revelations that she's told me, and things have made sense in that realm. I won't expound too much on it, but it's like, oh, I get it now.
Wait, give me one.
No, it's literally one thing, and if I told you, it would just.
All right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's insane.
Fair enough.
But I would think like, okay, if you're in that situation as far as religion goes, it's hard to find a partner that's somewhat secular in lifestyle, but also follows religiously like all of the doctrines that they have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing that I say it's a little easier for me than most other dudes is obviously religion is going to align, but on top of that though, as far as it goes with me and her, we just got to figure out if we actually like each other or not.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, so I'd say I have it a little easier.
Okay.
It is hard, but it's a little easier.
So it's not any way, shape, or form related into like the Mormon style of dating, or it's just
What
like
do you
you
mean?
meet somebody, it's just 6 weeks, boom, we're married.
Nah, so
go have some
see,
kids
my big thing
type
is
situation.
I hate getting compared to Mormons because, like I said, I got slight beef with Mormons. slight.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, because it's just like I look at them and I'm like, guys are just so weird.
I mean, I work with Mormons. Like my boss is Mormon, and he's a great guy. Like he's a good family man.
No, I like, truly believe they are good. Well, in terms of like family, like they're very good at that. I don't discredit them at all when it comes.
I think they have it easier dating than most people do.
I think they do. But also their loopholes be getting me at times.
That's wild, bro. Oh my gosh. Have you heard?
Well, yes, I've heard them all.
That's a different topic.
Exactly. I'm not going to get into it. I know it's a former Mormon, so trust me, I've heard every story you can imagine. I might have to get one of them on the pod.
Yeah, BYU is not as holy as everyone thinks.
Oh, it's holy, just not in the way you think it.
Facts. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, that was going to be the most distasteful joke I would tell on it.
I mean, if it's factual,
exactly,
you can't be mad at it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. You're welcome back anytime, buddy.
Absolutely.
Actually, before we go, I do want to ask, give me 3 people you would like to see on this pod, but you got to help me get them on.
Okay. Definitely Tyler.
Yes.
Dutch.
Yes.
Keith Ross.
I'm trying.
Dang. And this is kind of a Hail Mary, but Nico from 424. He's the founder of 424.
I don't believe I've had the chance to meet him.
It's very rare that he's actually at the meet, but I've had communications via email just for content reasons. But I don't know if I can help you with that situation, but I feel like that would be a good conversation. Or a good alternative, I think, would be...
now, give me a female.
Female?
Yes. I want to actually try to have more women on the pod.
Definitely Momo from Momo's Garage.
Oh, so far enough, me and her go way back, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Yeah, we worked at Carvana together.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. So. All right, say less.
That would be a great conversation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we can talk about our Carvana days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's very talkative, so.
I know. I
already know that. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I know all too well, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that's like those 4. I think Nico as an alternative just because of reach.
Yeah.
But yeah, those immediate 3. So Dutch, Tyler, Keith, and then Momo.
All right. Bet. Well, I need your help, but
I'll try my best.
I appreciate that. This has been the Mackism Effect. Make sure to follow this guy. I'll make sure to leave all his socials.
Oh, yeah.
And y'all take it easy.
That.